Hi, I'm Leonie West from Westalee Design, and I'm going to show you how to use our miniature Baptist fans. This is a set of 4 templates, and those 4 templates give you 9 sizes, and with it we can make little tiny Baptist fans. My Baptist weave, we can do them with lines that are 1/4 inch spaced. We can do the Baptist weave with a 1/4 inch and spacing with using 2 lines, and then we can have larger spaces. There is so much we can do with a miniature Baptist fan. The instructions come explain the template and show you how we create a Baptist fan, and we do give you a couple of ideas at the back. So the templates are these 4 templates in the set, and we'll start with the largest one. This gives us a 2 1/4 inch quarter circle, so what we're measuring is just the quarter circle, and a 2 inch quarter circle. The next size is 1 1/2 and 1 3/4 inches. Then we have 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch, and we have 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and a little baby 1/4 inch on the side. That gives us 9 arcs that we can sew with these. When we're doing a Baptist fan, it will generally be used as a background fill on a quilt, or we can make all these amazing blocks by changing and playing with it. So I've just stitched an outline on my block here. One of the important things to remember when we're sewing Baptist fans is we're going to sew down, up, around, across. If we keep going like this, it's best to have an even number, because we'll start here, up, and come back to this line. We want to end up at this line if we can. If we don't end up at the line, we're going to come up to here, and then our pattern can't continue. So we want the last line that we sew back on this line. There are ways to get around that by doing odd numbers, and I'll show you one of those methods later on. I'm going to do an 8 lined Baptist fan. So I'm going to start with the smallest, which is the 1/2 inch, and we have crosshair reference lines marked on this template. We do also have a hole. You can use the pin with it. There are certain things that I like to do using that pin, but I'm not going to use it for this Baptist fan. We're going to bring our threads up. If you haven't seen how to bring threads up, lower your needle, bring it up, lift the foot, move your fabric and template out, and then we're going to pick up the 2 threads and give it a little pull, and our bobbin thread comes to the top, and that's the easiest way to bring it up your bobbin thread. Later on we'll sew those ends in. So we're just going to move those, hang on to the tails for when we start sewing. If you don't hang on to the tails, we'll wind up getting a lovely nest at the back of our work. So I'm going to put the needle back in the starting position. I have 1 reference line on here and 1 on my line at the top. We're going to just sew 1/4 of a circle. It's what Baptist fans are made of. Once we get to the edge, we're going to stop on the line, and now we're just going to stitch a 1/4 inch towards us and bring our foot till it touches the template. And we're going to go back. When we get to the line, we're going to stop on the line. So we're on the line, we stop. We're going to change templates. This does become very relaxing, changing templates. We have to stitch a 1/4 of an inch across because we're doing 1/4 inch spaced Baptist fans. How we know we've got a 1/4 of an inch? Our foot touches the stitch line. Now we line our reference lines up here and here again, and we'll sew 2 arcs. We're going to come to the line, stop on the line again. We're now going to sew down the line a 1/4 inch. We're going to sew up again and stop at the line. Great thing is we can see exactly where our needle is touching that line and stop. We need to move that 1/4 inch across again. So step across, foot touches the stitch line, line up the template. and we're going to sew our 1/4 inch. Stitch down the line again. It's only a small amount of backtrack that we have to do, so don't get scared of it. It's just 1/4 inch. Stop at the line again. Change the template. Stitch across 1/4 inch. Line up those reference lines. And we'll sew back. We started with a 1/2 inch spacing, so we need to stitch across 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is the foot doubled, so we're just going to stitch across. If we're not quite in the right position, we can actually just move another 1/2 stitch. Line up our reference line with the top line. We're going to sew down until we hit the arc over here, which was the last arc we sewed. When we're on that arc, we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch up that curve line. We're now going to go back to the beginning, stop on the line, move the template. We're going to the next size template up again, stitching across that 1/4 inch. We're going to line it up. This becomes very relaxing as we go. Stop on the line, and now we're going to stitch down the line again. And back. It's easy because we have 2 sizes in one template. Change templates, and we'll do the next one. We're going to work this across the quilt. When I get to the other side and start back here, we'll come back and show you how to do the next row. To make sure that my Baptist fans line up as I go along, I like to just draw with a chalk line across the tops of each of those peaks. So my line is going across, and that way when I get to the other side, I'm not going to have Baptist fans that start here and creep in. I'm going to use that line with my registration marks on the templates. We're going to come back to the beginning edge. Bring our threads up again, and we'll bring our threads up at the 1/4 inch mark here, but we're going to bring them up in line with the top of the fan from before. So our thread will come up here, and that way I'm starting on that top row of arcs. So we'll just put our template back in place, drop the needle back where our threads come out. We're now going to sew our Baptist fans again. We're going to travel on this line over here, that 1/4 inch travelling up, just coming up the 1/4 inch. We're now going back to the top of the arc. When we get to the top of the arc, we're going to stop here. We're going to travel across that arc. So we have to travel a 1/4 inch again. So we use our foot as our guide. Get the next template. Line up with our starting point, make sure our reference lines are in place. We can only check the side reference lines at the beginning, we can't check it further down, and that's why I like to put that reference line of chalk across the top of the arcs. Stitch down that 1/4 inch, come across, stitch to the line again. We can see exactly where our needle enters our fabric, and that's all we need to see. When we're on the line, we'll stop. We're going to travel that 1/4 inch across again. Change the template over. Make sure we're lined up. It's very easy to backtrack that little 1/4 inch line. Travel up. Travel back down to our arcs again. Stop on the line. If you don't stop perfectly, just do another stitch. Just don't go over the line. We're going to travel over again, 1/4 inch, line it up. We've also got a second reference line where our template touches that stitch line. So we have a couple of references to follow. Travel down the line again. Stop on our stitch line. We're going to travel across again, just a 1/4 inch, and we're back to our smallest template again. So we're doing exactly what we did on the first row. Remember, we had to go a 1/2 inch across here. We're lining up with the reference line. Our dot is in the centre, touching there, and we're going to sew the next round of Baptist fan arcs. And we'll repeat this all the way across the quilt, and we'll repeat it down as far as we need to go. The block we're working on is a 12-inch block. When we get to the end of the block, we're often left with an area that doesn't take a full Baptist fan. We still want it to look like a Baptist fan, so what we do is we're starting where we normally would, and we're going to sew up to the line. We're going to stitch across until our foot touches the template and follows the template round. It's not possible to go outside the edge. If you are quilting this on a piece of fabric which is going to be cut off and sewn to another block with sashing, then you can go over that outer edge and just finish by going as 1/4 inch out. But if this was a block in a quilt, we want to be able to finish this neatly without going into the next block. So what we would do is sew along the line, and this would be the ditch in our pieced quilt. Or it could be the end of the quilt, but by just sewing to the line, it creates the look of a Baptist fan. The continuity is there with the fans below, and we're just using the line as a stop point to travel along. And that way, when we finish this block, it will look like it's completely covered in Baptist fans. So this is our finished Baptist fan, and I did say at the start of the video that I would show you how to tie the ends off. I'm taking a self-threading needle that threads through the top, putting the 2 threads into the needle, and then I'm going to tie a knot. I want this knot to be somewhere around 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch from where my threads come out of the fabric. We're then going to feed it where we began, where our threads come out, and I'm just going to go through the batting, and I'm weaving it in the batting, and by weaving it in the batting, the knot will become located in the batting, and that will hold my stitching in place. Cut the tails, and we're finished.